Hey y'all, and welcome to the Grepublibat vlog number 1. So, Grepublibat is a word I made up by smushing together the words Green, Republican, Libertarian, and Democrat. And you may ask, why would I do such a thing? And I don't really know. I'm just still trying to figure that out. My brain does weird things sometimes. But mostly what I'm trying to convince myself about it is that I'm starting this vlog to try and foster and foment, provoke, instigate, stir up, encourage more smushed togetherness of political peoples, because it's just like, this is getting out of hand. It's been getting out of hand for years, maybe centuries. But either way, it's tiring. The apartness, the team picking, the only two sides, spoiler plurality crap that we'll be trying to sort out in a subsequent episode. But yeah, I've just come to the opinion that if we're gonna have any hope of swimming back out of the deep end of this crazy bad division that we've got going on in the country right now, there's got to be some more intentionality about getting there. And okay, so yeah, like there is the part of me, and probably you and everybody, that kind of likes being stuck in the righteous high, I know best mentality. It's like, you know, like I'm always scrolling on the social posts, I'm like, haha, nailed opposing viewpoint, you suck. But yeah, I mean, the more the time passes, I don't know, the less it does for me. Like truly, like I'm getting curious, you know? In my old age, I'm just like, why do you think that? Other person that I'm looking at what you think right now, you know, is it the algorithm, the bots? I don't know. Just for my own sanity, I just got to believe that there's got to be some kind of human, genuine reason for these opinions in most cases. More than just like, oh, it's because those people suck, or they're mean Nazis, or those guys are clueless hippies that don't know nothing, and then they're in la la land. But yeah, we got to get more curious. Check this out. Be more curious, less furious. I heard that on this podcast I like. But anyways, next. So, but yeah, it's cliche, but we really got to start finding updated ways of being less right wing versus left wing, and just be more like, you know, full bird, you know, so we can fly. Because birds can't fly with only one wing, right? So, you know, we got to get both wings working again together in balance and harmony. Or even expand the metaphor, you know, it's like humans. You know, we're not birds, we got limbs, you know, so the Democrats could be like the left arm, Republicans the right arm, Green progressives like the left leg, Libertarians the right leg, you know, but whatever it is, the whole body politic has to start moving and working together, or we're just not going to figure our way out of this mess. You know, but unless like you're like I just thought of the Monty Python guy in the woods, the bridge, and he's got his arm chopped off by like King Arthur, and he's like, we're just a scratch at thee, but we can't be like that. All right, so how are we going to not be like that? It's this way. By admitting that everyone has had valid experiences and ideas that have been true or that have worked out anecdotally somewhere at some point in time. And that's what everybody's clinging to, right? Like, think of that. And like, we need to start validating and honoring all these experiences instead of constantly pissing on each other's realities. You know, I mean, it's half the reason that we even do that half the time is because the algorithms and the bots and the advertising click boxes are tricking us into doing it anyway. So maybe sometimes we don't have to participate. You know, again, less furious, guys, more curious, less pissing on each other and more listening on each other. And that's not the best rhyme, but it works for now. And it's like Ben Franklin said it too. We'll have an episode about that too, about all his cool quotes. You know, when we do that, we find more things that we agree on than we disagree about. It's good. Like everybody agrees that we want less levels of we want less levels of fraud and abuse in our government programs. I don't know why anybody thinks that like anybody wants more of that. It's just silly that we argue about that. Everybody wants fewer wars, fewer conflicts, and more and better commerce and trade across borders. Everyone wants a happy and healthy population. It's just that everybody has a different idea about how best to get there. And again, it's because everybody has an anecdotal example of how their idea has worked for those things in the past. So then what we got to do is we got to start aligning our mindsets along with the truth that in politics it's like this Bob Dylan. Oh yeah, it's like this Bob Dylan quote, you know, where he quotes Lincoln and he sings this song. He's like, half the people can be part right all the time. Some of the people can be all right part of the time, but all the people can't be all right all the time. It's off his second album. It's great. But yeah, once you can really grok this Lincoln quote, you can start putting all these true, in their places, anecdotes and ideas on a scale. And you can honor them all proportionally, balance them. You know, just like a carpenter honors all of his tools and knows there's a different tool for different jobs at different times. And there's also this other quote by F. Scott Fitzgerald that I found that's applicable, where he says, "The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposing ideas in the mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function." And you know, you got to be able to, it's the same thing as the tools metaphor, okay? You got to hold all these tools in your tool belt at once, in the hopes that you'll know when to use which one. And this is hard. It's easier to just keep complaining, right? It's easier to just have a hammer and see all the problems as a nail, that way that cliche goes. I mean, cognitive dissonance is real, man. It's ouchy. Everybody's got it sometimes. Don't lie, you got cognitive dissonance. I do, everybody does. But we just have to evolve, mature. I mean, I do. I don't, you know, and I don't want to be looking out for what's positive anymore, right? I want to generate, don't you love that word? I want to generate the positive, not just like try to go hang my hat on what's positive. You know, I want to be less of a complainer and more of a container. How do you like that rhyme? A container that makes space for other viewpoints so that I can help strategize about how best to marry everybody's views together and what proportion, la la la. Anyways, so yeah, in these vlogs coming up, hopefully, I'm gonna try and gather and present all sides of an idea or a topic that I can find as best I can, I promise. And then, you know, mention all the anecdotes, hold them all in my head, juggle them, chew on them, and try to find a balanced proportion. And then, yeah, and then, I mean, I can't do it all myself. I will invite you, anybody who wants to comment and argue about how you see the proportions, how you see it, the balance. Because again, I believe that you and I, we all want the same core things. All you liberals and Democrats and libertarians and Republicans and Green, you know, and there's that one party that smokes the weed, but yeah, we all want, you know, we all want to keep taxes as low as possible. We want to take care of the planet. Everybody does, right? I mean, who doesn't? Why would anybody think that nobody wants that? Like, you know, like, I mean, ah. But again, so, you know, when we walk, remember the metaphor, it's left leg, right leg, not just like left, hop, hop, hop. That's not efficient, you guys. You know, maybe it's two anecdotal correct ideas that might just have to take turns, right? Your idea, my idea, yours, mine. Maybe that's how the merry-go-round spins around, you know? But like, what's another example? Yeah, like maybe there's a time for charity and maybe there's a time to say, nah, do the bootstrap things. You know, maybe there's a time when socialist idea works and then the next time the capitalist idea works better, right? Let me think about it. Might be true. A time to honor common property, you know, like air and parks, or, you know, a time to honor private property. We just got to figure out which is which, all right? But they're both things. Don't try to pretend that one is not a thing, right? Either side, they both exist. You know, it's like Obi-Wan says, this is my favorite quote of the whole thing. Obi-Wan says it in Star Wars, only a Sith deals in absolutes. Just right. Sith are the bad guys, but again, Obi-Wan, only a Sith deals in absolutes, Anakin. You know, like, I didn't like how he just like talked all them. You know, it would have been better if he like just got angry and just you know, that would have been better. Anyways, that's not what I'm talking about right now. And you know, sometimes, here's one of the last things. Sometimes it's only going to be like someone's idea is only going to be like 2%, maybe 5% better than the other. And that's what makes it hard too. You know, maybe somebody's idea is just a little bit more correct. So we got to be humble. We got to at least go for the baby steps, you guys. But we got to move forward. All right, you know, we got to get past the only two ways, always crapping on each other. Two-party, first past the post, spoiler, algorithm, crawlers, and bots systems. You know, we got to be less furious, more curious, less pissing, and then more listening. Less pissing and more listening. Fewer complainers and more containers. And it's just like in that same Bob Dylan song off his second album, where he says in his Bob Dylan's dream, he's like, hey, I'll let you be in my dreams if I can be in yours. Isn't that beautiful? But I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll see how far we get with this vlog.